Hello!
So we're going to talk about our own personal ghost stories that we've experienced now. This is what we did record for our second episode, and we just never put it out there. So we're just going to kind of talk about that a little bit, and probably compile the footage from today into an episode later for you guys.
Yeah, because we want to do a full episode on this, but, and we have this segment for a while, because we don't have our interview until 1:30.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, we got about an hour.
Yeah, this actually might be able to turn into a video.
Mm-hmm. I think it could be the full thing.
So I'm gonna bring that down a little.
Okay.
Sorry
Well,
guys, I'm
because
gonna move you just a little bit.
The thing, too, is that we had a bunch of research on, like, what ghosts were and what people theorized that ghosts were.
Yeah, which we don't have right now.
Yeah.
At least I don't.
I do not.
I did not do research.
No, so we'll put that into the episode later, too, probably.
Yeah.
So
But this is just kind of give you guys a little bit of a preview.
Blake, since you are gonna have to head out soon, do you want to start with your ghost stories?
Yeah. To start, I guess we could go into one of the slightly, because I don't really remember, like, all of the ones that I said in the episode. Like, I remember the one big one. I remember the one big one that I told you guys about.
The camping trip?
Huh?
The camping trip?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good story. You guys are going to love this.
I remember that one.
My coffee.
It's a very, very creepy story. But there's a few more that I know that I said in that episode that I don't remember.
That's okay.
That's okay.
What they consisted of.
We're going to be just totally re-recording that episode anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And we'll just compile, so. And if you don't get all the details perfect, as long as it's fun.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's definitely a fun but very, very creepy story.
Super creepy story.
So it was probably when I want to say I was maybe 4, 5 years old, something like that.
Do you remember this?
I do not.
Okay,
I don't remember.
You were that young.
Yeah, I don't remember a second of this. And even getting my mom to talk about it is actually very difficult. Like, it's actually very, very difficult to get
Probably really scary for her.
my mother to talk about it, yes. So pretty much, whenever I was younger, my family would go on a lot of camping trips. So we would go to this place, it's a cliff.
Real quick, I'm going to interject. We just got a cool comment from Pierce Roberts. He said, "Keep it up."
Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I just typed TH. I was trying to type thanks.
T-H. T-H.
TH. Thanks.
Thanks. Okay.
With an exclamation mark.
TH stands for thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pierce. So sorry. Okay, what were you saying?
You're good. But me and my family would take a lot of camping trips, and a lot, particularly to this one area. It was called Blank Cliff, because I'm not gonna give y'all the location.
Yeah.
Because I still go there. Leave me alone.
And you guys, those of you who see this who aren't like personal friends of ours, you don't need to know where we live.
Yeah, you really don't.
I know where you live.
Yeah, it's creepy. So anyway, we used to take a lot of trips to this area, and me and my brothers, we would always go and kind of like just wander around and everything, and we just had a fun time. There was this little creek that we would always go to. So anyway, we were camping, and it was me, my mother, and my 3 older brothers, and then I want to say it was my mother's partner at the time. So it was all of us, and we were just going camping, and me, Michael, Tristan, and Philip, I had to go to the bathroom. It was the middle of the night, and I had to go to the bathroom really, really bad.
I feel that hard.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was also 4 or 5, so like, you don't know how to control your bladder.
I'm 33 and I still feel that. So.
I just pee right now.
Yeah. But I mean, do you need to go?
No, I'm good.
Okay. But yeah, no, so I needed to go to the bathroom really, really bad. So I woke up my older brother and I was like, "Hey, will you take me to the bathroom?" He's like, "Yeah, but we're not going alone." So he woke up my two other brothers. And he was like, okay, so let's go.
How many brothers does it take to take Blake to the bathroom, Sarah?
3, apparently. So anyway, we go to the bathroom, and none of them feel comfortable going with me into the ladies' room.
You're good.
Fascinated.
I commented with my real name.
There you go.
Yeah. So I just removed him.
Yeah.
But thank you anyways.
So
I forgot that I had the stream up on my personal account.
Yeah. So anyway, so we all went to the bathroom, and my brothers did not feel comfortable going into the ladies' restroom with me because they were ranging in age from like 6 or 7 to like 14 or 15.
Yeah, at 14 or 15 you can't.
Yeah. And so they were like, well, you can go in there by yourself, like, you know how to go to the bathroom, you're fine.
Right.
And I was like, okay. So I went in there, and I don't remember any of this, so I have no idea what was going on in that bathroom. But then, from what my brother said, my brother Michael, who is the oldest one, he said that he heard me giggling.
Okay, in
that's
your
that's
voice.
creepy in and of itself.
In my voice, in my little 4 or 5-year-old girl voice, I'm giggling.
Little girl giggles are like, oh,
super
so creepy.
creepy.
So creepy. Yeah.
So I'm giggling, and he's like getting kind of concerned. And so he goes into the bathroom thinking that there's somebody in the bathroom with me. Which, like, if that's the case, and there's a stranger in the bathroom with his little sister, then that's a problem, especially in the middle of the night. So he goes into the bathroom, and he walks into the restroom to see the stall door swinging back and forth, and I'm sitting on top of it.
Are like it's a swing, like the top of the bar was on your butt, and then how are you balancing?
That's a very good question.
Ooh,
So
something was like holding you up?
Yeah, so I'm sitting on the edge of it like this.
I don't like it.
And I kind of have, like, my hands on it,
Yeah.
and I'm just swinging
Oh my god.
I don't like
back
it.
and forth,
Nope,
back
don't like
and
that.
forth. And I'm just giggling.
I would not be giggling.
And my brother,
So creepy.
yeah, and then my brother runs up to me, and he takes me off the top of it. And he's like, what were you doing? Like, why are you laughing? What are you doing? And then my other 2 brothers come in, and they start, like, looking through all the stalls, trying to figure out where this person is, because there's no way I could have gotten up there by myself. So they start, like, throwing open all the doors and everything, trying to find where, like, this person is that got me up there.
Right.
And they don't find anyone. And they were watching the door the entire time.
That is so creepy.
Yeah, and so I was like, well, yeah, but, like, the man.
Nope.
And my brother was like, the what? There was a man in here?
the man. Yeah, the man.
There was a man in here? And I was like, yeah, he was playing with me.
My god. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Okay, because obviously, like, it's very creepy if it were something supernatural, but it's, for some reason, to me, it's more creepy if it was, like, an actual dude.
Yeah.
Like, in there.
Yeah.
Not that it necessarily was, because they couldn't find anybody, so,
They couldn't find anybody, and they were watching the door the entire time.
But either way, it's, like,
I don't like it.
super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
like it.
So then my brother is obviously also super uncomfortable. So he throws me over his shoulder, and he just starts sprinting back to the campsite. He's like, I don't want to be here. I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
And my brothers are just like, okay. And then Tristan picks up Philip, because Philip is the 6 or 7-year-old.
Yeah.
So he picks him up and starts running. And they just run back, and Michael is crying by the time he gets back to the campsite with me and my family. And my mom is like, what happened? What's wrong? Oh my God. And he was like, there was a man in the bathroom with Blake, and he was playing with her. And she was like, what? So she goes into the bathroom, and she can't find anybody either, because, like, obviously he's gone by now.
If there was a real, like,
If there
not
was a
real,
real
but,
person.
a live person. Yeah.
If there wasn't, like, a live person in there, which I don't think there was.
Yep. Yep, that literally just gave me the heebie-jeebies.
All right, we just got another comment on YouTube. Will Buchanan?
Buchanan.
Sorry. He says You guys are doing something great. Thank you. You're helping everyone that has had to go through the exact reason I had to drop out of high school.
Oh.
I'm so sorry you had to drop out of high school. You know, you can always go back. My parents are in their 60s, and they just went back to school as well. So whenever, regardless of how old you are or where you are in life, it's never too late to go
And
back to
whenever
school.
you can.
If you want to. If you want to.
And if you don't want to, that's fine too.
But I'm sure you're doing fantastic without it,
Gotta do the
regardless,
best
in
for you.
spite of it. So good job on you. And thank you for commenting and seeing our
Thank you so much.
very small stream. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Cool deal.
All right.
Okay.
So
But yeah, no. So that was one of my ghost stories. Another one.
Yeah, that one wigs me out. Regardless
Yeah.
if it's
Oh,
a ghost story or an alive person, like
either way, it's super creepy.
shivers.
Yeah, and especially because like there weren't very many people at the campsite around that time.
Probably not. Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay,
it's
so you got
very
another
creepy.
one?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you got another 10 minutes before you have to do your thing, or what time do you have to head out?
I probably have to get off the stream. Probably here in about another 25 minutes ish.
Okay, cool.
So you got about 25 minutes.
Yeah, probably about 1:15 Central Time. But so yeah, another one that I have is it's a lot less creepy, and to me it's just a little bit more like gratifying.
Okay.
Did
Did you have Ghost SEX?
no.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Just
lady.
wondering, it's a thing. It's actually a sexual
I know
orientation.
that.
I absolutely would though. Anyway,
Sorry, I just clapped my hands in front of the microphone. Sorry, guys.
so okay, another one that I do have that it's a lot more gratifying than creepy. I was 12, 13, something like that, and it was right after, actually my great aunt Lois passed away. And she was one of the only extended family members that I ever actually felt like gave a crap about me. Her and her husband Paul.
Your mama loves you.
Extended family members.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, my
I was gonna
mama
say,
adores
hey, wait
me.
a minute. Let's not hate on your mom. Your mom's cool.
My mama adores me, but and I adore my mama. But one of the only extended family members that I
Okay.
ever like.
That's legit.
Yeah. So anyway, she was like she had died peacefully in her sleep, thank God. But
Thank
one
God it
of-
was peaceful. Not thank God that she died.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Thank God it was peaceful and in her sleep, and she didn't even know it was happening. But she was also a music teacher.
Cool.
She was one
What
of
did she
the-
teach?
She mostly just taught like music theory and everything like that. She taught choir at her church and everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she taught me pretty much everything I know about music. And she played the piano a lot. Pretty much every time we would go to her house, she would sit down at the piano with me and play it.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's sweet.
I really loved playing the piano with her, like pretty much all the time. And there was one day that I was actually sitting in choir, and I heard the piano playing, and then for a second I like looked over, and it was her sitting at the piano. And then I looked away, and then I looked back, and it was my choir teacher again.
Did you see with your eyeballs?
Yes, with
Oh
my
my
eyeballs that it was
gosh.
her sitting at the piano.
Okay.
But it was for like a second.
There was a person sitting at the piano, but it wasn't her.
Yes.
Technically. But she sat there for a second.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, she sat there for like a split second. I was sitting there and I was just like singing. And then I looked over at my choir teacher for like half a second. Because I also really didn't like my choir teacher. But I looked over at her for like a second, and it was my great aunt sitting there. And then I looked away because I was like,
Right.
and then I looked back and it was my choir teacher again.
I feel like that is kind of a sweet thing. I feel like
Yeah.
she came to just be like, hey, I'm good.
I know you're doing what you're
I
doing.
support you.
Yeah.
I support you. Yeah,
Here
and
I am playing the piano like I love to do.
that actually happened again to me.
Okay.
She wasn't sitting at the piano though this time. This was whenever I was in Madrigal. I was in the Madrigal performance of my high school, which in case you don't know what Madrigal is, it's basically where people pretend to be members of a royal court, and they sing.
Dress up like medieval style.
Yeah, and they dress up in medieval style and they sing Christmas songs.
I've never heard of this.
They do it on the news every Christmas, so I'll hook you up with that when it comes time again.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
fun.
Christmas
I love
is coming
Christmas
up.
They
stuff.
dress up as like the medieval thing, but they don't do the full performance on the news. They just do like a couple songs. But yeah, no. So I was in the madrigal. I think this was my freshman year. Yeah, it was my freshman year. And normally freshmen don't get picked for court. They're normally what's called the handmaidens.
Okay.
So it's the servants that go around and give food, because they serve like a dinner to the people that come to madrigal. So normally
That sounds like a typical high school and college party. The younger ones have to serve all the seniors and stuff, and all the upperclassmen.
but
That's how it was in undergrad.
it's also like families. It's also like families and all of that
Yeah.
kind of stuff that come and watch their kids. But anyway, normally they're picked as handmaidens, and I was not picked as a handmaiden that year because I got picked to be on court.
Okay.
Which is actually a huge deal because there's only like 2 freshmen out of the entire choir that get picked to be on court.
So would you
Cool.
say you're pretty popular?
No, I wasn't necessarily popular. It was just that I was the best alto at the time.
Right.
That's fair.
So
You're an alto 1 then, right? Because you sing way higher than me, so you'd have to be an alto
She
1.
can get up to soprano.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like,
Here's
if you're
the-
an alto, you'd have to be alto 1. 'Cause you
yeah,
can sing
here's
really
the
high.
thing. I don't actually normally sing alto range. I really prefer soprano range, but I was one of the only girls who could really do the alto range.
Okay.
So
Yeah, because you have a really good, like, long range.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. I
Yeah.
have Johnny Cash's range, but in a female voice.
Yeah, when I was in choir, I was in the alto 2s, but there were only 2 of us, and literally no other girls could do it, so it felt very low for me.
Yeah.
But I could hit the notes; it just sucked.
So
Because I get whistle tones.
I
Yeah, I
have
can't do that.
I have actually in choirs and in musicals that I've been in, I have sang not only alto 2, but also tenor and bass.
Wow.
Wow, bass is low.
Bass is low.
I was singing at
That
an
can't be
octave.
healthy for
I
your
was
heart,
singing at
for
an
your-
octave
for your
up.
heart, your throat.
I was singing at an octave up,
Okay.
but I was asked to do bass for one of the plays that I was in.
Wow.
Nice.
That's insane.
Yeah, but so yeah, I was on court, and I was one of the people who sat on like the kind of edge of the table. But my Uncle Paul ended up coming. This was after obviously she had passed away. My Uncle Paul ended up coming to Madrigal.
And how was he related to her?
It was her husband.
Okay.
And so, he was literally the only other person that I had left in my extended family. And he came with my grandparents, but never mind. I'm not going to get into that. So, he came, and there was a time whenever my grandmother had gotten up to go to the bathroom. And I just happened to look over, and she was just sitting there looking up at me and smiling. And then I, looked away again, and she was
Your
gone.
grandmother was, or your aunt?
My Aunt Lois.
Okay.
Yeah, my great Aunt Lois was sitting there right next to Paul. And just, sitting there with her hands in my lap, just, looking up at me and smiling. And I was like...
That's so sweet.
I literally started crying, and everybody thought that it was because, the music was just so beautiful, and I was so overwhelmed or
You're
something.
just so moved.
But no, it was
just
that
love this
I
music
just
so
witnessed
much.
my Aunt Lois.
Right.
Yeah, but
That's so nice that she
yeah.
came to support you.
it was a couple of times that I saw her do that, and I was
That's
like,
so nice.
that's really awesome.
I
Yeah.
love that.
So yeah, that's 2 of the smaller stories that I kind of have. And then, another one really isn't, I wouldn't say it's a confirmed ghost thing. You guys already know about this one. It's whenever I was having really, really awful dreams at one point. And it was about, really touchy subject matter. And one of them involved a child. There was a little boy who died in my dream. And I woke up, and he was at the foot of my bed.
Ooh! Sorry.
You're good. But I woke up, and he was at the foot of my bed.
Wait.
And he looked exactly as he did whenever he died in the dream.
Oh, man.
And so I looked at him, and I couldn't really, it wasn't that I was paralyzed, because I could move. I could move, and I could breathe and everything, but I could not for the life of me get a word out, because I think I was in shock.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting there trying to formulate a response to seeing him there, when he just goes, "Why didn't you help me?"
What a jerk laying that on you.
And I was like, I don't even know, like, I didn't say any of this, but in my head, I was like, I don't even know you. What are you doing in my house?
Right.
Because at the time, I was living in this really, really tiny studio apartment. In case you don't know what a studio apartment is, it's all one room.
Mm-hmm.
So my bed was in the same room as my kitchen, blah, blah, blah.
Well, technically, it's 2 rooms because you have a bathroom.
Yeah. But you wouldn't call it, like, a 2-room apartment.
No.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he was just asking me, why didn't you help me, over and over and over and over again. And he was, like, covered in blood and, like, just not looking good.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like, he just sat there with me until the sun came up. And I was just, like, sitting there, like, rocking back and forth and crying.
That sounds like it would be, like, if it was not something paranormal, which it totally could have been, if it isn't, that is, like, one of the worst cases of sleep paralysis I've ever heard of.
Yeah. Well, because the thing, too,
because
was that...
it stuck around for so long.
Yeah. The thing, too, was that I wasn't paralyzed.
You don't always have to be paralyzed to be
Yeah.
in sleep paralysis. It's sort of an umbrella for a lot, like, within the realm of, like, night terrors and things like that.
Yeah.
So, it could have been, but it lasted so long. You said that it lasted until the sun came up.
And the thing
that
was
makes
that...
me question that, because usually sleep paralysis lasts a few seconds.
And I continued seeing him.
Exactly.
So there was a couple more times that I would be in my house, and I would just kind of look in the corner of my eye, and he would be there. Just kind of standing there, just like watching me.
Something like that.
And he was the only one that actually showed himself to me, but I had many other dreams where someone died, and I was in their point of view.
Oh, wow.
Or I watched them die.
Yeah.
So,
Those are
my
horrific.
therapist says that it was a way of me coping with childhood trauma, but, like, I don't know how much I believe that.
I mean, not if it was
There's
still
a lot.
there.
There's a lot to. I don't know. There's a lot to it. It could be. Who knows? But I don't doubt that it could be supernatural, because I've had very similar things happen to me. Not like to the gruesome extent, but as far as, like, feeling like you are literally seeing with your eyeballs.
Yeah.
So I don't doubt it. I'm just trying to think of any logical explanation, and I can't think of one.
The only one is the one that my therapist said, and it's that my brain is just coming up with stuff to help me cope.
Right.
Yeah.
Coping mechanisms but I've never heard of hallucination be part of that, but maybe it is. I'm not a psychologist.
Yeah.
I've only taken some psych courses.
Well, because another thing is that very recently I've been talking to a therapist who says that hallucinations, audible, which are a kind that I do have a lot, or visual hallucinations are part of something called bipolar 2, which is the second type of bipolar disorder.
Yeah, that's the one that gets the manic episodes, right?
Both get manic episodes. The bipolar 1 has manic episodes that last for a lot longer. They last anywhere from 2 weeks to a month. Whereas bipolar 2, they last anywhere from a few days to a week.
Oh, okay.
So their manic episodes are just shorter and less severe. Because bipolar 2 has something called hypomania, which is like the lessened down version of mania. So instead of, people not sleeping for days at a time or being incredibly irritable or that kind of thing,
Right.
it's more of like they feel like they need to do everything at once, and they can be irritable, but it's not all the time, and they can experience hallucinations, and all of their emotions, I don't know how to explain it. It's like all of my emotions just feel like they're heightened whenever I'm having a manic episode.
Yeah.
So I can get way sad way easier, or I can get way happy way easier, or I can get, like, way angry way easier.
So it's just like this all the time, like a speedometer, just constantly.
Exactly.
Oh, that makes sense.
Exactly.
So
One of those metronome
potentially,
things.
yeah, like a
metronome.
TikTok. It could be delusions from that, but I don't know. It feels.
I mean, I believe in ghosts.
Paranormal
so
to me.
Yeah.
I feel like there
Yeah.
was actually a way there.
I think so too.
Yeah,
just because it lasted so long.
Yeah. And it was a period of months that he would appear to me. It was a period of months that he would just kind of like appear. It was always in a dark room, though. It was never during the day. Well, there was a couple of times that I saw him during the day, but it was like a shadow and he was moving super fast, and I just kind of felt like it was him.
Yeah, and that's totally legit too. You can feel something that you can't see too.
Definitely.
Because that's when I talk about mine. That's one of them was like that for me.
Yeah.
Well, it's 1:05. If you wanted to start talking, was there anything else on that one?
No, not really.
Well, that one we'll just go with that one then because, so my mom sings in a gospel group, and I went to support her at one of it happened to be the church where my grandparents had gone to church before they passed. So I'm sitting in the pew, listening to my mom sing, and so there's the way that the church is laid out. It's like you've got your stage and everybody's singing here, and then off to the side there's this little door that leads to what's called a fellowship hall, so like where they make food so that people can, sit together and eat and have a nice time. And my grandpa, when he was alive, he would go out that door into the fellowship hall and he would pace back and forth. He had Parkinson's, and that's one of the things where he would get antsy and he couldn't sit in the pew for long periods of time. So he would go up to that area and pace. So I'm sitting there watching my mom sing, and the door is open to the fellowship hall so I can see into it. And I see movement out of the corner of my eye, and I look over into the fellowship hall, and I see my grandpa, who at this point had been dead for, 7, 8 years. I see him pacing back and forth in the fellowship hall. And I kind of, and then I felt my grandma, who had died the December before. This was in the summer of 2017 that this happened. I think it was summer. My grandma had died the December before in 2016. And I felt her, I didn't see her, I felt her sit down next to me and put her arm around my shoulder and say, "It's just us, kid."
Oh my god.
Which is exactly the sort of thing that she would have said, exactly how she would have said it.
Did you hear it with your actual ears? Like actual sound?
It was in my brain. It wasn't,
okay.
No.
But could you hear it in your voice or her voice?
Her voice.
Oh.
It was like a telepathic message, I guess, because I didn't physically audibly hear it with my ears, but I definitely heard it inside my head, and it was absolutely her voice.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And she sat there with me for a little bit, just to kind of, I guess, make sure that I was not super freaked out, because I was
and
pretty
not like
freaked out.
going crazy.
Yeah.
Thinking that you just saw.
Yeah.
Your grandpa.
Yeah. And it was because it was really crazy because my boyfriend at the time was sitting on the other side of me. So I've got grandma here, boyfriend here. He has no idea what's going on. And I'm just crying.
He just looks over and you're like,
and he's like, I guess he thought I was, really into the music or really into the spirit. Yeah. Which, that's not what was happening. That's fine. Do that. That's not what was happening in that moment.
Yeah. It's a very common thing in a lot of like worship places where like people just start crying. So like it probably didn't look all that weird.
No. The funniest part, excuse me.
You good?
I don't have COVID, promise.
Allergies.
So a lot of allergies. So the funniest part about it was when my mom, like, they would take a break, and there were 2 different groups that were singing that night, so they took a break to let the other group sing. And when she came and sat down next to me, she's like, "You're crying. What's going on?" And she sat down in the spot where my grandma had been sitting and put her arm around me, just like grandma had her arm around me.
Wow.
And so I was just kind of like,
stop.
Yeah. So I told her what happened. she gets up and starts testifying to the whole church. Making sure everybody knows what happened.
Oh my God.
It was a trip.
That is such a common thing to happen in churches too. Because the funniest thing was
that blows my mind.
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna derail for like 1 second, just because I have a story that's related to this.
Okay.
I was in church once, and I was kneeling at the altar, and I was in a really, really bad place at the time. So I was like begging God to tell me where He was.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, I felt somebody put their hand on my back and come up to my ear and be like, "I'm right here."
Oh
And it was a grown man's voice.
It's like he's like, "Dude, I'm right here, dude."
He literally put his hand on my back, got that close to my ear, and went, "I'm right here." And I'm like, I got up and I started walking out. And I was like, because it was in a grown man's voice. And I was like, And I started walking out. And one of the ladies ran up to me and she was like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I was like, "God just spoke to me." And she was like, "Oh my Lord." And starts taking me up to the front. And I'm like, stop. I want to go home.
That just, see, I wasn't ever really a churchgoer, so this all is just like, it would be so mortifying to me.
It was mortifying. It was absolutely mortifying.
Oh, to be pulled up to the front of the church like that? Yeah.
We just got a comment. Dylan Workman, he says hello. Well,
Hello. Hi, Dylan. Hello. Hi. How
Welcome
are you?
to our little stream. We talk about cryptids, machination theories, and everything weird. Right now we're talking about ghost stories.
Our personal ones that we've experienced.
And when I heard God.
And yeah,
Anyone
when
who's
heard God.
Anyone who's watching, check that out there. We have raised $1, right? $1
would like to
out
raise
of
more.
$200 for the Thankmas charity.
We
It's
would
all
like
going
to
to
raise a lot more, please.
Red Nose Day, which is going to help children all over the world struggling with poverty. Okay, go
Every
ahead.
single dollar helps.
Short term.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, we were just talking about church, but yeah, you still have.
Do I have others?
Do you have other ghost stories?
You got another couple minutes if you have any others.
Well, I experienced. I felt my grandpa again in another church. That it happened before this.
Your grandpa just be in churches.
Well, yeah, he frequented
Okay,
them.
Cynthia says, "Oh, we share
Ooh,
testimonies.
we sharing testimonies.
We sharing
Wait,
testimonies."
who is that?
Cynthia, hi Cynthia. How are
we
you?
sharing testimonies?
We are. We're sharing ghost stories, and we just started talking about church. What is it? Is testimony church thing?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have any
Haley wasn't
testimonies.
raised in church. Blake and I were.
But we are actually talking about ghost stories right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just so happened that mine was experienced in a church.
I love
Yeah,
ghosts.
most of mine.
Wait, Dylan Workman said, "I love ghosts. I encountered with 2 poltergeists and 1 demon."
Oh my gosh.
If you haven't liked us on the Facebook yet, Dylan, like us on Facebook, and so message us because we would love to talk to you about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That would be amazing.
We are going to here, in a few weeks, probably film a ghost episode, and we would probably love to have people on the podcast to just kind of call in and get some interviewee
Yeah,
stuff.
talk to you guys about it. You could
So.
be semi-ish famous.
We're
Not that big yet.
Considering we have 4 people watching our YouTube right now, we're
Hey,
not
well,
we
famous.
have 7 viewers right now.
Hey,
Oh, cool, 7. Wow.
Hi guys, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. We
Hi.
love you.
Anyway,
Donate to the charity,
Please.
Okay.
so you felt your grandpa in
Yeah, that was
another
that
church.
was another one. That was before the one I just talked about, because he had only been dead a couple months at that point. So I guess it's like, because you and I were talking the other day about like the strength of the spirit based on how long they've been gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And so this was, he wasn't as strong yet because he hadn't been gone as long. I went into the bathroom, and as I was peeing,
Thank you for subscribing, Dylan.
Yay, thank you.
Sorry.
There
Why
was
didn't
a
the thing-
picture.
there should be a little thing that pops up. I don't know if it
I
did.
don't know why it didn't pop up.
I don't know. But
Well,
thank you.
Maybe he subscribed on the YouTube instead of on.
It
That
should
probably
pop
only
up
pops
on-
up for the Twitch.
Thank
Oh,
you
maybe.
for also
Yes, thank you
subscribing,
so much.
Cynthia. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you. Did Cynthia subscribe?
Yeah,
let's
same.
see that.
Yep. Yay! Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, guys.
Thank
appreciate
you.
Okay.
Okay,
So
yeah.
a picture frame flew off of the wall right past my head.
Wait, where was it? Was this in another church?
Mm-hmm, in the bathroom of another church, yeah.
Okay.
A different church.
Okay.
So that goes flying past my head, and I was like, whoa, what the heck? And I heard my grandpa laughing.
He said, "Yay!"
He was such a practical jokester, too, though.
Wait.
He would play pranks on you all the time. He loved doing stuff like that.
Okay, so this wasn't like a mean thing.
No.
It was a joking thing. But that's not a joke throwing.
No, that is funny. That is
No,
funny.
he didn't throw it at my head. He threw it past my head. It was on the wall behind me.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden it goes...
Oh, I see. I thought it was coming from another wall and just flying at your
Just
face.
did it to freak her
like,
out.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Grandpa! Getting smashed in the
Yes. No. He wasn't trying to hurt me. He was just messing with me.
No, he just did it to freak
That
her
was
out.
that's the kind of person he was. He used to follow my grandma around and like poke her. Like just stupid. And she'd finally just, I've had enough of your crap.
Are you poking me?
Yeah.
Oh, you're getting lint off.
Did you think it was a ghost?
Her grandpa just comes along and starts poking a random person thinking it's
Oh,
you.
he would totally do that to you guys because you're my friends.
He would just sit down and just poke. Yeah. Oh, it's 11:15. Should I talk about my
Yeah.
Ooh, 1:15.
1:15 is what I meant. 1 and 11.
It's 11:15.
I should probably at least go get my clothes to get changed.
Okay, cool. We did get more comments here.
We did.
I encountered with the demon 1 week ago, and
Whoa.
what happened was I was in my room relaxing, and all of a sudden my TV turned on, and it showed a ghostly evil face, and then my window flew open.
Oh god, that's creepy.
I'm leaving on that note. That's creepy.
Ooh.
Don't like it.
Oh, I hate that.
Gosh.
That's terrifying.
What's that meme? Thanks, I hate it.
I hate it.
That reminds me of the other day I was at Rochelle's house pet sitting her cat and her computer just started talking. It was insane. I don't think it was supernatural necessarily. It was probably one of the cats hit one of the wires, but I almost peed myself.
Dude, a ghostly evil face. Jesus.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
Okay, so ghost theory. Oh, not ghost theories.
Ghost theories.
Ghost theories.
Our theories about ghosts, they exist.
Well, we will be talking about our ghost theories
Yeah,
whenever
that's
we
true.
do
At
the
some point,
episode.
yeah, we will. Not today.
No.
Well, I have a ghost cat story.
That's true.
I have a ghost cat story. Okay, so I don't remember how old he was. Probably, I don't know, 5th grade or something like that. And okay, so I have contacts in right now, and without my glasses, I'm very blind, and I always have been. And so, are you leaving forever?
No, I'm just grabbing my clothes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. We should recenter.
Okay. So, yeah, when I was younger, and I wanted to preface the blind thing because the first part I thought was just my eyesight, but it was real, at least to me. I was sleeping and I woke up to some noises over to the other side of my room, and it was like the sun was just barely starting to come up, so it was sort of like light gray in the room, you know, sort of dark, but not quite. Like I could still see around the room, but it was dim. And I had my glasses off, and I was looking to the other side of the room, and there was something moving on top of my dresser, and it was like making noises over there, and it was like a blob. Welcome back.
It's a little bit chilly out there.
A little bit.
And it was like a blob, so I got up out of bed, I put on my glasses, and the figure was still, and it was like a blob, so I got up out of bed, I put on my glasses, and the figure was still there, and it was a cat. It was a cat. My bedroom door was closed. And we did have a cat, but he pretty much stayed in the basement at night. But even if he wasn't in the basement, even if he came up, my bedroom door was closed and he was not there. Anyways, so I'm watching this cat as I'm slowly walking up to it because I'm a little bit freaking out at this point because it doesn't even look like my cat, and it's still knocking things over on the top of my dresser, perfumes and lotions and things like that. And so I walk up, and now I'm this close. The cat is right here. The dresser's right below it. The light switch is here. I'm still watching this cat, and I turn the lights on, and in front of my eyes, gone.
Oh, that's creepy.
Totally gone.
That's super creepy.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
What's up?
What's up?
Give me just a second. I'm gonna say goodbye to everyone while I'm still dressed. So,
she has to go to work naked.
yeah, I have to work.
No, we're kidding. We're kidding.
I do not work naked.
That's not true.
Even though this stance would certainly anyway.
Anyway.
But so anyway, it's been really fun. I really love everything that we're doing here. I love Thankmas. I watch it regularly. This is just the first year that we're doing it.
Everyone say bye. Bye to Blake.
Bye. Goodbye.
We have more comments from Dylan. That's what I was looking at.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
I'm going to get going. I'll see you guys later. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining us. Goodbye.
Bye.
We're gonna continue.
We're gonna stay.
Bye, Blake. Have fun at work.
Drive safe, please.
I have to
All right.
get dressed.
Dylan-
I'll say goodbye to you guys in a minute.
You're fine, babe.
Dylan Workman says, "Oh, I wasn't scared of the demon. I just flipped it off, and I'm not sure, but I probably made him go away.
That's awesome.
I thought it was my brother pranking me, but it wasn't, and now I think a demon is really mad at me."
He might be. He might
Why
be
are you
mad at you.
angering demons of all things?
I mean,
Dylan, you know better.
I can see that being a first reaction, especially if you think it's your brother.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
That's
I
fair.
can
I would have
see
done
that.
that if it were
I
my
can
brother.
see
Just
that.
throw up the hands, which I'm not showing on camera.
Yeah, no.
Anyways, so I flipped on the light and this cat had totally disappeared. It was in front of my eyes.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, and that's the only time that I know of that I believe that I've seen like a paranormal cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I'll feel like I see a cat out of the corner of my eye or something. That happens to me relatively frequently, and my mom just says that it's like my childhood cat's checking in on me.
Oh, that's
So
sweet.
I don't know. Do you guys ever have that, where you'll just be like roaming around and you just see something move out of the corner of your eye and you look and there's nothing there? Like that happens to me all the time.
Yes. Yes. That I don't know if those are like animals or people. Or...
It feels like it feels like a cat. It moves like a cat.
Yeah, because that's like wispy and it's like liquid, and we know that
Cats
cats
are
are liquid.
Cats are liquid. Rats are liquid. What else is liquid?
Are snakes liquid? Snakes are kind of liquid.
Yeah, because they don't have any ribs or anything. They can kind of collapse.
They're more specifically a river
Yeah.
of anything else because they just do this,
Yeah.
like wind. Yeah.
Sidewinders do that. I guess other snakes do too.
Dylan said bye-bye.
I don't know if she
She
could
said
hear that,
bye.
but she did holler from the bathroom where she's changing clothes.
He also said, "I ain't scared of no ghost," and he said, "Also, one of my items is haunted by a spirit." Oh my gosh! Actually,
I'm afraid of no ghost.
hold on. Let's not get copyright struck though.
No.
Here's an item that I believe has a spirit as well. So I totally believe you. This is the rock. It's onyx, but his name isn't onyx. I'm not going to tell you his name. Why do you want to know? Yeah, that might make me seem very crazy, but I absolutely believe you that one of your items might be haunted.
We do run a Cryptid and Machinations Theory podcast, so we might already be construed as a little crazy.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. That's true. Yeah, so we should get kind of set up here for the stream, the guest call that we're going to have in. It's going to be over Zoom, but you aren't going to be able to hear him. Sorry, not hear him. You aren't going to be able to see him. Sorry.
Yeah, you'll be able to hear it, but you won't be able to see him.
And it's somebody that has been investigating ghosts for a while and probably has some cool stories. And maybe later today we will fill in some gaps in our time with more stories of our own, because I sure have some.
He has not messaged me back yet, so I'm still waiting to. He's still got time, but I haven't heard from him yet.
He's
so.
got 7 minutes. Is there? Maybe we can switch stuff up if he doesn't get back to us. We can.
We can if we need to.
Switch it up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, I think he's gonna have some cool stuff for us. So what do we have planned for after that? Oh, redheads are aliens.
We can go ahead and start on that if you want. If he takes too long.
Yeah.
Or we can be right back for a minute, and I can try to call.
I think that sounds good because I have to use the restroom anyways.
Okay. All right. So we'll just we'll put on our be right back screen, and we'll be back in a few minutes. So please don't go anywhere. Please stick with us. If you have the time, like if you've got to go to work, go to work. Don't stay here and watch a stream. But Otherwise, stay here and watch the stream.
Real quick before we go away for a few minutes, Dylan Workman says it's his old 69 Charger. Is that a car?
Yes.
Okay, so your car is haunted. Okay. That's actually really dangerous if your car is haunted.
Yeah, that seems terrifying. That gives me like the vibes of what was his name? The Rebel Without a Cause. The guy with the hair. Oh, what's his name?
I don't
James
know.
Dean. James Dean.
Jimmy Dean Sausage.
No. James Dean, the actor, who was killed in a car crash, and supposedly his car was haunted after he was killed in the crash because, like, they ripped up the car for scrap metal and put different pieces of it in other vehicles, and then those vehicles subsequently crashed.
Ooh.
That's true. You can look that up.
That's scary. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. He says that Dylan Workman on YouTube says it's haunted by, I think, the person who drove it. And what happened, he crashed it, and I guess he didn't leave the car or his spirit, and he's a very peaceful spirit.
Well, I'm very
so
glad
maybe
that he's
it's not
peaceful.
dangerous.
I'm very glad that he's peaceful.
Are you
That's
headed out?
wonderful for you. All right. So we're gonna do our little be
you
right
want me to
back,
grab it?
and we will be back with you guys in just a few minutes. Okay.
Yep, because we're gonna use the restroom and then try to get our guest caller on to talk about his own ghost adventures, ghost hunting adventures. So it'll probably be, I don't know, 5 minutes at tops.
Maybe a little bit more. We both have to pee.
Yeah, that's true. We're women. All right, so stick around, please.
I'll be back. Hey, we're back.
Hello, we are back. Okay.
Hey, we're back up.
Yeah, so we're still waiting on our guest to call in who's going to talk about ghost hunting stories. In the meantime, I think we got another ghost story.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You do? Okay, go for it.
I have actually a few. Okay, so when I was
a young boy. Sorry.
my brother took me to the forest.
Okay.
Anyway.
So you're marching band?
No, to search for paintball forts. And anyways, so we went up to the woods behind the neighborhood to like look for paintball forts because we played paintball with his friends. Mm-hmm. And there were already some forts that were built up there and we wanted to kind of scout it out and try to find the best ones so that we knew exactly which direction to run when the game started. And I had gotten a little separated from him, and I was probably, I don't know, 9 years old or something like that. And my brother was 3 years older than me, so he's my big brother, and he's like a protector.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I was walking up to what I believe I remember was like a fallen tree. All the leaves and stuff were there, so it was like a giant bush type thing, but it was from a tree. And there was some rustling back there. And I heard something rustling, and I was thinking, bunny! There's going to be a bunny rabbit, and I'm going to see it and maybe try to catch it. So I start slowly walking up to the tree because I'm thinking I'm going to be as quiet as possible and not scare off this bunny. And it just goes, rattle, 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 rattle. And then the leaves started to rattle, rattle, rattle. But then it started to rattle higher up the fallen tree to where like bunnies aren't that tall. So it's like
except for
rattling
Frank
up here. Well, yeah, Frank
is that
from
tall.
From
Donnie Darko.
Yeah. Oh, there's also Harvey from the musical. Not musical, play, not a musical.
We got some.
Oh,
I heard something pop up. I heard something make a sound.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
Not sure. But anyway, so it's rattling way too tall to be a bunny. So then I'm thinking maybe it's a bird that kind of like went up in the tree. Mm-hmm. But it would have had to be a big bird, like a big bird,
like Big Bird,
but much smaller than Big Bird, and maybe not as yellow. And so I'm still walking up real slow, but then something had happened. This part I still think about to this day because it's so creepy. From behind the like leaves and limbs and stuff, from behind the limbs was a hand that came out like this, and it was like kind of wiggling a little bit, and it looked really bone thin, and the skin was like rotting and kind of peeling, and it was dark, and it was gross, and the nails were way too long and kind of dirty. And it went like that, and it was like a horrible, horrible feeling. Not even just adrenaline, but just, I don't know how to explain it. It was just like absolute terror went down my body. And I couldn't move for a second, and the hand was still there, and it started to kind of grab at the limbs and the tree, like the like leaves and everything. Started to grab at it and pull it, and at that moment, I mustered up enough energy and courage, not energy, but you know what I mean, like getting myself out of the shock, to turn around, start screaming, wailing, crying for my brother to come help. I didn't know what he was going to do about it, but like, what was I supposed to do?
You needed somebody to help you.
So I ran, told him what happened. I was like bawling my eyes out, and I think I probably was crying too hard for him to really understand. But he ran up with me, and I showed him the tree. I was like, this is the one, and he started yelling around the woods to like come out and show themselves, and they're scaring his little sister and all that kind of stuff. And he was trying to be big and bad, even though he was like 12 years old. But no, nobody turned up. So I don't know for a fact that it was a ghost, but it sure looked not human.
That's
like not human,
horrifying.
not alive. It sure looked not alive. It was just a hand, but you might want to
Our
have
dude
that
is
where
ready.
it's not
Yep.
rattling the microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, he's ready, so whenever we're ready.
Oh, okay. So our guest is ready to come on and talk through some of his ghost hunting stuff. So what's going to happen is I have to send him a Zoom link and then get him on. So it's going to be just a minute. Should I do a be right back?
Nah. Well, it's up to you.
I think I should do a be right back.
Okay.
Be right back, guys.
Hey,
You
we're
might
back.
want to make sure and see if people on the
Oh,
other
you're
end can
you're
hear
live
before
right
we
now. Hi, you're
get
live.
too far in.
Yeah, we're having some technical difficulties with Zoom. So we've got our buddy on the speaker phone on my phone, and I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it, but we're going to try.
Let us know in the chat if you're having trouble hearing it, and we might just cut this segment, but we're going to try our best to get this because I think that he's going to have some really cool stories. So,
Yeah. Do you have it up on your computer, Jackson? Can you?
I don't, but I can get it really fast.
Okay. Because I can't. I had it up on my phone, and since I'm using my phone to talk to you right now, I can't bring it up on my phone at the same time.
Understand?
So
well, just make sure
Hopefully
that your
we
sound
can,
is off so there's no echo.
we can get this situated and.
What is he getting at?
He's bringing up the stream so he can see if he can hear himself on it.
Oh, okay.
Because we want to make sure that they can hear this through the speaker.
Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I can hear myself.
Sweet. All right. Good
right.
deal. Okay, so this is my buddy Jackson, and he has done a lot of ghost hunting in his free time. So we just wanted to kind of talk to him about that and let you guys hear. And if you have questions up on the chat, we'd love to. I'm sure he'd be happy to talk to you. So
Yeah.
Jackson,
Where do we want to start?
Anywhere you want to start.
yeah, it's up to you, dude.
Tell us some of the stuff that happened to you while you were ghost hunting.
There's okay. Where are we gonna start though? We're gonna start at the old Alton Bridge. We're gonna start at Green Elm Cemetery.
That's entirely up to you. Whatever you. Oh, you. Okay,
I wanna
Kaylee
hear
oohed
about
at the
the I
cemetery,
wanna
so
hear
she
about
wants
the
to start with the cemetery.
All right. So there's a cemetery out in.
Don't
Down here in
give
Texas.
a whole lot of locations because you don't want people knowing where you live that watch this stream.
I'm familiar with doxing, so, and even then it's close, but it's not that close.
Blake forgot something. That's okay. You
but-
do this. I'm gonna.
Trying to watch on, it's confusing, so I'm gonna have to stop that.
Sorry, we just wanted to make sure that we had the sound going. So since you know that you have it, we're all good.
Yep. Alright, but yeah, it's in a cemetery, an old out here, about an hour and a half away from me. But it's just an old cemetery.
Okay.
The original story is my dad and my mom, some of their friends went out there. You know, they just decided just to go. But when they did, you know, they planned. They called the sheriff. You know, all the normal stuff, like making sure that they were okay. And when they get out there, they see this black Cadillac just driving around. Like when they were getting out there, it went left towards the cemetery, so they went right towards the bridge because there's an old abandoned bridge out there as well that's supposedly haunted.
Okay.
So 30, 45 minutes passed by. They didn't have any activity at the bridge. They turned around and went back to the cemetery.
Okay.
And these two people were standing beside the Cadillac. They were just standing there, almost like they were waiting. So they end up getting out, going up to help. They had locked their keys in their car, in the trunk. And they turned out to be professional ghost hunters.
Cool.
Out at this cemetery in the middle of nowhere.
That's an awesome find.
But beyond that, they ended up staying, and they were there until 4 or 5 in the morning. And they had some crazy EVPs. It was who is here? And they had 5 different voices. And
what kind of things did the EVP say?
Go ahead.
What kind of things did the EVP say?
It was mainly just yes, we're here, or, leave. There were a couple leaves.
Oh, I don't like that.
I
love that. That's creepy.
Most people in this cemetery were buried in the 1800s, early 1800s. So.
Oh, so it's a super old cemetery.
It is a super old cemetery.
I wonder how that factors in with our theory that maybe as ghosts, the longer ghosts are around, the less energy they have. So maybe the less power they have to do stuff. So in that cemetery, all they have the energy to do is maybe some EVPs and stuff.
In my experience, the longer they've been dead, the more energy they have.
Oh, so you're the opposite.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, sorry, go on.
No, you're fine. I'm about to debunk your idea there.
Okay.
So,
I
there
love being
are
debunked.
confirmed at least 2
That's
children
not
buried in the cemetery. So they had taken a ball, just like a rubber ball, out there. They had set it up on a headstone. There was no wind, no nothing. And I asked, if anybody's here, if you're a child and you want to play, move this ball. And when they did, that ball shot 15 foot off that headstone.
What? Wait, no. Wait. So it didn't just... Okay, I'm sorry.
It didn't just roll. No, it launched off the headstone.
Okay,
Like
straight...
picture frame with
straight up or straight out?
Off to the side.
Oh my gosh, so it was straight up smacked.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That is crazy.
I don't like it.
That's what happened the other day at the grocery store with that coffee. It just went off the shelf.
They were really full.
They were really full and they were leaning. Okay, so there was that. But I thought there was a ghost for 3.5 seconds, so it was neat. It wasn't 15 feet though, it was 1.5 feet.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, Jackson, go on.
You're fine.
Oh, actually, we do have a question from a viewer for you.
All right.
So Dylan Workman on YouTube wants to know if you've ever encountered any haunted vehicles because he owns one.
A haunted vehicle, I have not. But that sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, unless we're calling a vehicle that's just perpetually a lemon. But if we're talking about a murder vehicle, no, I haven't.
Well, he was saying earlier that he thinks it's someone that crashed the car and then they haunted it after crashing it and that they were peaceful, he said. Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, what else happened at that
At the cemetery? The EVPs, the ball, I'm trying to remember remember if there was really anything else. They got a few picture of orbs, but really nothing crazy.
Okay. That's still pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess.
And you had what, another one or two besides the cemetery that you went to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, the Old Alton Bridge, which is in Denton, Texas. And the story is, it was back in, I'm trying to remember the exact dates, but during civil unrest times, and there was still a divide in Texas between races.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then, so, there was this goat farmer. I don't remember his name. I'm going to look real fast.
So this is actually historical, this part.
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
But this actually still haunted as well.
Stuff.
We're maxing out the audio.
Oh,
We need to pull that back
I'm
a
sorry.
little bit. Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Old Alton Bridge.
Yeah, if those red things hit the very top,
Okay.
we need to be careful to pull
Okay.
it back further.
Alright, I don't see his name on here,
Okay,
Well, that's okay.
but basically,
Oh, perfect.
it was an African American man that was hung over the side of the bridge of,
Oh, that's awful.
yeah, by the Ku Klux Klan. Awful stuff. Anyways, so we go out there one night, and we're up on the middle of the bridge.
I heard the Texan in there. I said that.
My bad.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So, I don't know if you've ever heard of anything, like, you use two flashlights, you know, you have, and you just do like the mini mag lights, where you just turn the head of them just a little bit,
Yeah.
like you'll be right on the verge of on and off.
Yeah.
So we had those out there on the bridge, you know, it's like, anyone here, you get one firing off, because the theory is behind that, is that there's enough electrical current, like, arcing between them, or that it's not even like an arc, it's that the spirit or whatever can reach in and actually connect or close the circuit. The lights will come on.
Do you want to just hold it?
But, you know, we would ask questions and it would be like, oh, turn one on or turn one off.
Oh, and it would like do it for you. Oh, you know, I have heard of this. I mean, it's not really like a reputable. Okay, you know,
Yeah,
BuzzFeed.
it's not super reliable, but it's generally
They
general.
do it on the BuzzFeed true what is it called, the Supernatural or whatever. But they'll lay out the flashlights and have them just barely on or off, and they'll just sort of flip. Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's unreliable, but if you ask certain questions and it's really consistent, then you can be like, oh, like what are the chances?
Cool.
Yeah. It's pretty cool stuff.
That ended up being what happened. That ended up being what happened.
So it was like really consistent, and they kept answering questions intelligently.
Yes.
Ooh, that's cool.
Awesome.
We sat right up on top of the middle of the bridge, and you know there were people there, but nothing crazy.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, what happened here? Like, are you? And they would say the name. I forget the name. Is this? You know, if it is, light up both lights. Both lights would shine bright.
Oh. I just got the heebie-jeebies.
That's pretty cool.
And it was like,
We could definitely do that for pretty cheap too if we ever wanted to do that, because those flashlights are not that expensive.
I want nothing to do with it.
No,
No.
that'd be so much fun.
No. You and Blake go ghost hunting.
All right,
I'm not
cool. Yeah,
going.
we'll go ghost hunting.
I'll stay home with
Sounds
my
cool.
cats. Thank you.
Yeah, we don't have all the right equipment, but we could do the cheap stuff. It would be fun. Yeah. What was that? Did you have a third one?
at my house.
At your house?
Okay, tell us about your house.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Alright, so ever since we've lived here, weird stuff has happened. So after we had met the professional ghost hunters, probably been a year or two, we invited them out to the house, you know. It's friendly, whatever. So being here, I always see something like run out of the corner of my eye coming up and down this hallway. And then my dad, on several occasions, has seen, he wakes up in the middle of the night and sees somebody standing either at the foot of his bed or at the foot of the recliner. Just a massive person just standing there. Looking over him. So, that was just background stuff.
That's creepy.
Yeah. So, when my little sister was about 3 or 4, old enough to talk, but not old enough to really do much, she was laying on the couch. I was back somewhere away, and Dad was in there with Josie, my little sister. And out of nowhere, she had her hair in a ponytail. Her head got ripped back, like grabbed by the ponytail and then ripped straight up.
Oh.
And she hollered, "Jackson." And I was nowhere to be found.
Oh my god. Oh, so it was like hard enough of a pull that it felt like an alive person did it.
It actually pulled her head back and up.
Ooh, that's creepy. That's scary. I think I would literally pee myself if that happened to me.
So whatever lives in your house is not particularly friendly then?
It's not mean.
I mean,
that sounds mean.
That's kind of mean.
That's
to pull
a little mean.
Girl's hair.
It hasn't been mean in a long time. Let me put it that way.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, that's scary.
You know, we had them come in. We did the dowsing rods. And we have some old windows from an old abandoned house up on our wall. You know what dowsing rods are?
Yeah, I do.
I don't.
Oh, that Kaylee doesn't.
I don't.
You might have a better shot at explaining that.
Oh, I doubt that. You have more experience with it than I do. It's like a little metal...
They're 2 metal rods.
Oh, okay. I know what those are. And they, like, move back and forth to, like, answer or whatever. Okay, yeah.
But we would ask, like, if there's energy in here, please point to where it is. And every single time it would point to those windows. Every single time. Like,
okay, so
where are you coming from? And it would point to the windows.
Oh.
So, we still have the windows hanging in the house.
I don't like that.
No.
That's not fun.
No. I think
That's okay.
Move.
Hey, you know what? They're part of my inner demons now. That's okay.
You've infiltrated your soul at this point.
Yeah.
So, we do have another viewer question for you, Jackson.
All right.
Dylan Workman on YouTube wants to know if you have done a ghost hunt on the Queen Mary.
I have not.
That would be a fun
I'd
one.
like to.
That'd be cool.
I don't know much about the Queen Mary.
It's a ship. I know that.
Yeah. I have heard that it's haunted, and I know that some YouTubers who I shall not name for monetization type, future monetization, not that we have it right now, purposes, but they did a ghost hunt on the Queen Mary, and it was pretty cool actually. But yeah, so Jackson, would you ever want to?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are there any places in particular that are supposed to be haunted that you haven't been that you'd like to go?
Yes, but that would I can't necessarily disclose those locations.
Oh. Okay.
Mysterious.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say they're technically condemned.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
I think we just harmonized our O.
We did.
But yeah, that's really all I have.
Well, that's very cool. Thank you for taking the time to
we appreciate you
talk
talking
to
with
us.
us.
And sorry about the technical issues to both you and our viewers that we were going to have Zoom up, but it just was not working. Mm-mm. But thank you.
We had the picture up, but we couldn't get any sound. And if you can't hear what Jackson's saying, that kind of defeats the whole point of the segment.
Yeah. I mean, he could just dance, I guess, right? Would that be cool?
You wouldn't want to see me dance.
Oh.
I don't know. You're pretty tall. I think I'd enjoy seeing you dance. It's always funny when tall people dance. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm like 5 foot.
I think he took it the way wrong way when you said that. Because he's like, I'm not going to comment on that.
Oh, I didn't mean it that way. I'm not even sure what way you took it, but okay.
Tangoing.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Anyways, Thank you very, very much.
Y'all have a... Oh, go ahead.
Real quick before you leave, we have one more comment that might be directed to you, toward you as well.
I think it might be.
Dylan Workman on YouTube says, I have encountered the little girl spirit at the pool area.
Presumably on the Queen Mary.
Which, that's neat.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
That
the
is
Queen
awesome.
Mary would be very cool to go on, and that would be neat to go and experience.
Maybe
the spirit
someday
of
we
the
can all go
little
do that after
girl.
COVID's
That would
over.
be cool.
That'd be cool.
Anyways, thank you very much, Jackson. Say goodbye to
Thank you.
everybody.
Goodbye. Hope everyone has a great day. Don't forget to drop a follow.
Yeah, and donate, please.
Donate.
Donate.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Jackson. We appreciate you, and we'll talk at you later, bud.
Bye.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I sweated up your phone a little bit. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Not a big deal.